Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video I want to talk about setting income strategies. So if you've decided that you want to leave your job to go say freelancing or contracting, we're going to discuss about kind of what strategies you want to put in place or what you want to think about before you do that. And really what this boils down to is working out whether your income is going to be active or passive or a combination of both. So what do I mean by active and passive income? Well, active income is what we traditionally refer to as a job. So it's where we are trading our time for money. So as part of your employment contract, for example, you might work 8 hours a day and you get paid X amount for doing that. The thing with that is once you've given that time and then you've been paid for it, you don't get anything else for it. You've received the money for that time that you've given. So on the flip side to that, we have what's called passive income. And what passive income is all about is you do a load of work on a particular project, whether it's a book or an online course or music or anything like that. You put a load of effort in, you release it, then over time you carry on receiving money for it. And this is exactly what I do with the Pluralsight courses. So those courses take a huge amount of time to prepare, months sometimes, 2 or 3 months. But then once those courses have been released, they continue to earn money. And that's what passive income is all about. So before I quit my job, I had to think long and hard about what my strategy was going to be going forward and where my income was going to come from. And that's why I put together sort of a high level plan, effectively like an income strategy. And it's that which I want to cover at a very high level, because I think it's something that you should really think about if you are going to quit your job and go freelancing. Because the last thing you want to do is quit and then not have a plan. So you start on day one, it's like, now what? That's probably not a good strategy going forward. So if we start with active income, so, whilst I've said that passive income is kind of the holy grail, it's the thing that's going to earn you money over time without actually doing any extra work, active income is still something that's going to be required, and it's going to be required for me. So for me, that's going to come from doing short-term contracting gigs, so 3 months at a time doing contracting. I'm not going to do that all the time. I'm planning to do that probably early next year sometime. I might do a few contracting gigs, or it could be short-term consulting where you just go into a company and offer your services for 2 or 3 weeks at a time. The other areas which I'm looking at for active income are in-person training. So I run a training consultancy called Stephen Horn's Training. And that's where I'm going to go out and do classroom-based training around the world on particular computing subjects. In my case at the moment, it's cryptography and computer security. So that's where I'll go out, spend 2 days in front of an audience of say 25, 30 people and teach them for 2 days, and then I'll get paid for that engagement. So those are kind of the areas which I'm thinking of doing for active income. So what about passive income? Now, passive income is an interesting one because it sounds great. You do a load of work, you release it, and then hopefully all this money comes flooding in. But the reality is it doesn't quite work as quickly or as immediately as that. I mean, it can do if you're lucky, but it requires a bit of planning. So what I've done is I split my passive income goals down into short, near-term and long-term goals. So for me, short-term goals is carrying on doing what I'm doing with Pluralsight. I'm working on a course at the minute. Literally, if I started recording this video, I was working on the script for my current course, which I'm about to literally go and record after I finish this video. So I'm going to keep on doing that, and that keeps on bringing in a good income for me. So that's kind of my main priority at the moment. Then for my near-term goals, I am producing a series of ebooks, the first of which I've actually just released. I'm going to talk about that very soon on a video. I've got a series of about 6 books which I'm planning to do over the next 6 months. Now the good thing with publishing ebooks, especially on things like Kindle and Amazon, is those books don't have to be very long. They could be 25, 30, 40 pages long. They don't have to be like big 300-page books. And the reason why that's good is generally today people have quite short attention spans, so they're used to getting their consumption of media in shorter bursts. Whether that be through videos on YouTube, Pluralsight, Udemy, lynda.com, or any training places like that, information is much more readily available. So the amount of people that actually probably sit down and read a 300 or 400 page book is probably less than what it was, say, 5 years ago. Not to say that, longer books don't have a place, they absolutely do. But there's definitely a market for doing short-term Kindle and ebook publishing. So I'll be talking a lot more about that in the future as I sort of feel my way through this. As I say, I've got a series of books I'm looking to release. I'm quite excited about it. So the other near-term goals are things like YouTube, part of the reason why I'm creating this channel. So the aim is, over time, I'll produce these videos, which I'm hoping will be quite useful for people and give people some insight and some good knowledge on stuff that I want to share. And in return, people will hopefully subscribe to my page, like the videos, comment, and just help give me a bigger audience on YouTube. Then over time, that could be monetized through advertising schemes. So the reason I put that in, sort of near term, is it's something that's going to take a while to put together, a year, 18 months. I'm not expecting it to be a quick thing. I have a handful of subscribers at the minute, who knows where that will be in 6 months. But by producing these videos, and they're not that hard to do, I've got a lot of stuff I can talk about and teach people about, and producing the videos is actually fairly quick and easy. So I'm going to keep at it, and hopefully people find value in them. And then you've got passive income goals, which are more longer term. So in my case, there's things like peer-to-peer lending that you can do, where you reinvest some of your income back into peer-to-peer lending sites like Funding Circle, for example. And what this is they are organisations where you invest some of your money into it, say, I don't know, £2,000 or £3,000, and then someone that's looking to get a loan will take the loan payments from multiple sources. So if someone's looking for a £5,000 loan, I might actually contribute, say, £100 to that loan, and another lender contributes £100 to it. So the risk is spread across a whole sort of series of people. And they seem to be doing really well and becoming really popular at the minute, and you can get quite good rates of returns, between sort of 5 and 7% return on your investment. So that's something I might look at in the long term, and we'll see how that goes. Another thing I'm looking at as well is, as well as doing ebooks and Pluralsight and classroom training, other things I'm looking at is actually a startup with a co-founder. We're looking to do something in the payments industry space. Now this is more of a much longer term bet, so I've spent a fair bit of time over the last couple of months actually sort of building out some of the software platforms for this. It's quite exciting. I can't say too many details at the minute just because we're going through regulation and all the usual legal stuff that you have to do as a financial company in the UK. But again, this is something that I've classed in passive income really because as a director of a company, we hope to be able to draw dividends off of it, whereas we might not necessarily take a direct salary. So this is something that's a much longer term bet. Not quite sure where it's going to go at the moment, but again, it's all very exciting. So that's what I really wanted to say about it, is you need to have a general strategy of where you think your income is going to come from. You need to do a bit of forward planning. If you're going out to be a contractor, then really most of your income is going to be active income because you're going out into companies and working by exchanging time for money, and that's absolutely fine. As I said, I intend to do some of that myself over the following year. But if you're planning on doing passive income, then really what you want to do is start trying to build some of that up before you leave your job. So these things can take time, like the whole thing I do with Pluralsight. That didn't happen overnight. I've been doing that for 4 years now. And it's been a whole ton of work, but I'm starting to see some good rewards off of it. But it has taken a lot of planning and a lot of time to do that. So I guess the key message is if you are thinking of leaving work, make sure you have a plan. If it's passive income you want to be accruing, then make sure you kind of have a short, near and long-term view of how you want to do that income. So thanks a lot. I'm going to be back soon with some more videos. Again, if you like the kind of subjects I'm talking about, please hit the subscribe button and like the video. If there's anything in particular you want to know or you want me to talk about, or there's any questions you've got that you want me to answer, then please put them down in the comments below and I'll do my best to try and answer them or create videos around them. So thank you very much.